This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to a review of the Christopher Reeves Superman movies. And I actually have never watched these movies before until like a week ago, and it's one of those things where I did want to check them out, but had no big rush to do so. And honestly, I'd say I'm kind of disappointed in them. I feel like none of them were truly amazing. The first two are enjoyable, but I think they all do have flaws. And I don't know, it might be a lot of nostalgia for why so many people love them, but going to the first one specifically, I think that overall it is pretty good. I think that looking at Clark's origins and a good amount of it being just the backstory of Superman was a nice thing to do, especially back when it's maybe not as popular as it is today. Although Superman obviously hasn't been done to death like both Batman and Spider-Man. But still, I think that it was done pretty well. I think that the biggest problem in this is it feels like a lot of the plot is being forced to happen by the plot and characters making little unnatural decisions. Lex Luthor specifically brings Superman into his plan just to take him out. And yeah, you could say that's a preventative measure, but he then goes and decides to go and blow up the city that his one of his assistants mother lives in, and that leads to his defeat. And yeah, honestly, all that, it just felt a little forced that the one city he decides to blow up is someone that he works with has their mother there. It's honestly just a next to impossible coincidence and has to be intentional. And I don't know, it just feels like it was really just kind of the plot trying to find a reason for Superman to be able to escape. And then going into honestly really everything else, I think that the movie, it's overall, it's a fun movie. It's entertaining, and Christopher Reeve is a great Superman. He does a great job having a different acting, well, like acting job as Clark Kent and as Superman. And honestly, I think it is done pretty well. But now moving on to some things that honestly just made no sense in Superman 2 is them just deciding to cut out Jor-El basically to save some money to not pay the actor, but then not it go and refilm the scenes and explain anything because I know that there is an extended cut. I haven't watched that yet, but I think it is. If you look at the theatrical version of this, the entire story is literally just well, the conflict really is the plot demands that Superman can't be with Lois, and because of that, they have to give up his powers. So honestly, even if there is a thing where they're saying that he's being a little too biased, which I think is the explanation for the extended cut, honestly, I think that still doesn't even work because Superman still knows right from wrong. He will only be trying to save Lois, and I think that Superman is one of the characters that could actually go and make the decision. It seems like they're very much, even though, technically, well, Jedi did exist, but the Jedi with the no attachment rule didn't exist at this point. And it feels like they very much wanted to, and in a sense, make him a Jedi, or really what a Jedi would turn out to be, since, as I said, this is. The first one is like, I think, Superman, like, 78. and the next one's like 80 something. So just the big thing for that is obviously you can't look at the fact that it's the Jedi existed after, but it's essentially him being Jedi like with an option to get out. But I feel like especially Superman doesn't really need that. Different story for the Jedi. That's a different video though. So let's go back to the rest of the plot. In this one, it sort of has the opposite problem where I think everything about Clark and his life was the best part of the first Superman, and the villain and the evil plot was less interesting. In this one, Zod and his minions are the star of the show. They are honestly the best part and proved to be a great antagonist. I think they did a really good and it was just a fun time with them. It was all done really well and that was something I really did enjoy. But yeah, that's what I have to say about two. Now to move to three and four. Those are pretty simple. They both feel like the director's taking out their anger on, first of all, computers, and the third one, which I don't even know who the villains were, besides the evil Superman being in there. There's just really nothing. And the evil Superman, kind of representing Bizarro. But besides that, there's really nothing. And is that traditionally connected to Superman. Yeah, Lana's in this, but Lois leaves for almost the entire movie. Good amount of the cast isn't there. And it just feels like they wanted to cut back on the budget to try and make more money off of it and just have the bare minimum they need. And the villain's plan was just kind of stupid. This entire supercomputer thing was kind of dumb. It just felt like they had a very anti-computer message they wanted to push. And in a time where computers or types of computers like phones and everything are so popular and an essential part of society, it honestly is just crazy to think about just how off base this is and helped 3 just age even worse. And then Superman 4, although this is said to be the reason that we didn't get a comic book movie in well, I think like nearly 10 years. Honestly, I don't think it was that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad. I'm gonna be very honest. This movie is not good, but I don't think this nearly killed the superhero industry bad because it just feels like again like the computer one. This had a very anti-nuclear energy, anti-nuke message that it wanted to push, and trying to make things a little more a little more political with it for really no reason. And yeah, honestly, it was just dumb. Entire like radiation man. I want to say radioactive man, but that's from The Simpsons. So his entire just like radiation guy. It was dumb. Just everything about this movie, just it was just dumb. But yeah, overall, I think that. Oh, also the entire storyline of the Daily Planet being bought out just felt tacked on and forced. But yeah, honestly, it was. As I said, I was never impressed fully with any of these. Personally, just for me, it just feels like it might be a lot of nostalgia for why people love these so much. Maybe like the little more cheesy storytelling, but when you have so many other great Superman stories like Superman and Lois, especially that one, My Adventures with Superman, Superman the Animated Series, and even darker takes like Injustice and some other stuff, I don't know, it just feels like we get so many great Superman stories, and I feel like this felt really great because, at least at the time, The graphics were, pretty good, and there was some really interesting stuff, but especially like some things I didn't really like was their take on Lex Luthor, who just wants to be a criminal. And I'm just so used to the brilliant, scheming Lex Luthor who just wants to take out Superman because he really hates aliens and doesn't like him. He's kind of a petty guy. Honestly, I really like that version of Luthor so much more than this version, who just wants to commit crimes for the fun of it. But yeah, as I said, I think that overall the first two were pretty entertaining. They had their flaws, and three and four are just a giant mess. But I want to know what you think. I feel like I'm not making too many friends by saying I really didn't enjoy the movies and spent more time breaking them down for their bad stuff than praising them for their good stuff. So, you think I'm completely crazy, or do you think I have a good point? Because honestly, I just really didn't see the big appeal in these. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And I'll see you in the next episode of Legends of Theories. This Joker looks pretty intense. His voice is pretty sinister, and I can't wait to see what they do next. I want to know what you think. Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you on the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.